The Spiritual History of Humanity, an illustrated guide from the Stone Age to the End Times, written by Thomas Ty Seal. This text and all images subject to copyright. This text and presentation not for sale or unauthorized distribution. Chapter 1. The Stone Age, Nature, Gods, and Ancient Stories to Explain Things. Let's begin at the beginning, not at creation, but with what early humans must have thought about God. Nobody knows when the first thoughts about God occurred, nor what they were. These happened hundreds of thousands of years before the invention of writing and the beginning of recorded history. Like us, early humans would have felt that some spaces had a magical quality. Some spaces felt hallowed, sacred, or inhabited. Like us, early humans would have noticed that many things in nature seem to have a presence that calls to us. Trees inspired awe. Rivers channeled sacred energies. Mountains were heights for the gods. The sun brought heat and light and was worthy of worship. The moon watched over us and had a presence. The sky provided the breath of life. Even now, we often turn to the sky and the heavens when we say our prayers. Animals had sacred power and gave life. There's over 600 paintings dating from 17,000 years ago that cover the walls and ceilings of a cave in southwestern France. Those who commune most intensely with the spirits of nature, who believed they could summon the spirits often through ritual dance and chants, who believed they could interpret signs in nature and predict future events, who learned the healing properties of nature and who interpreted dreams, became the first priest of humanity. This 18,000-year-old image from a cave in southern France is believed to represent a shaman in a trance summoning animal spirits. Shamans are still part of many rural and primitive societies. This feeling that all natural things have a special spirit that somehow calls to us is called animism. The term arose in the 1870s in the work of Edward Taylor. Animism is a foundation of ancient religious belief. It's found in the teachings of the ancient Greeks, who thought that the planets and fixed stars have their own intelligence. It's true for us, too, if we believe all living things are moved or animated by a magical spirit. Ancient humans learned other things about God from nature. They could see that nature had symmetry and order. There was day and night. The heavens, too, were ordered. Some parts, the planets, moved across the sky along predictable paths. Others were fixed as background beyond the planets. The seasons were also ordered. Life depended on understanding the order in nature and creating order among people. A division of labor was essential. Some must hunt, some must gather, some must cook, some must nurture children, some must protect the tribe. Later they learned that some must plant and some must harvest. Because survival depended on order, chaos became one of the first enemies of religion. People learned they must cooperate to survive. This, too, became sacred. Some of the art in this cave in Argentina is from 9,000 years ago. Early humans also learned that the gods who controlled nature could be fierce. Danger was everywhere. The gods of nature were not always friendly, but they did help keep us alert. At some point, humans reasoned that our soul and body were independent. This probably occurred because in dreams we leave our body behind and can even see dead relatives. Given a belief that everything has a spirit, that life is a battle between chaos and order, and that the soul and body are different, it's easy to see how stories develop to explain things. Every culture invented stories about sun gods, moon gods, fertility gods, messenger gods, war gods, heroes, and many others. They also invented stories to explain the conflict between order and chaos, right and wrong, fate and the afterlife. The ancient Chinese told stories about gods, as did other people in ancient Asia. So did the Indians, as well as the Mayans, Aztecs, and all Native Americans. The Babylonians and others along the ancient Fertile Crescent did too, as did the Egyptians and all the ancient tribes and nations of Africa, as well as the Greeks and all those around the Mediterranean, and many other ancient civilizations, way too many to mention or recount here. In almost all early religions, people felt that they must make sacrifices to the gods who controlled nature. They believed that sacrifices would help protect them from danger, and that the gods would grant them special requests if sacrifices were made. In almost every culture, this need for special rituals gave rise to priests who arranged the sacrifices and explained what was necessary to receive the grace of the gods. This brings us to the end of Chapter 1 and provides a starting place for our next adventure, a brief look at the mythical foundations of what is now one of the oldest cultures on earth, the Chinese, whose kings, shamans, and priests laid the foundations for what would eventually become a still existing religion, Taoism.